Okay, good evening, everyone. This is GP and Gejo here, and today we are discussing whether you should go for a retake for CAT or not, based on what we have done in the last edition of CAT. Uh, it does not matter whether you had a great CAT score or a poor CAT score. We have seen students who have a very high CAT score also repeating, and we have seen students who have very low CAT score not repeating. So whether to repeat or not is something which is a personal, is an individual decision based on the aspirations. But we believe that you also should be a little practical in this particular domain. So the next 1 hour or so, Gejo and I will discuss if you should go for retake, and if yes, why? If no, why not? Okay. Yeah, Gejo, over to you.
Yes, GP. So, like GP said, there is no universal answer to this question. But what we can actually give you is give you certain input so that you can make a very informed choice or decision. Uh, the the problem with this question, GP, whether to retake or not, you'll only come to know whether it's a good decision after, let's say, 2 to 3 years, right? But
Yes.
given what given whatever is a data point that you have.
Hmm.
I think it is important that you make a good decision, and we'll try and enable and help you understand how you could take those decisions. That's basically what is that we
Hmm.
want to do.
Right.
So
Right.
we'll start with the question. So we'll do it in two parts. Should I retake at all? So if answer to that question is no, fine, great, okay. If the answer to that
Mhm.
question is yes, then what is that we have to do? Okay. So we'll start with the no-brainer situation that you have to retake. Um, so I think, or at least give up the idea of cat completely. One of these two, right? One is you didn't prepare seriously last year. When I say you didn't prepare at all, I mean there are a lot of you would have probably gone to the just taken the test. So technically, this is not a retake. So technically, it's just that was just a mock or diagnostic test that you took. So this is sort of one so position, and the second is the B school that you got. If at all you got a B school, or which is way below your aspiration. I think this is important to understand. There are so many B schools in this country, and you're looking at that B school to achieve something in your career. If you know for a fact that that is not going to happen, based on aspiration, based on your commitment, there is no point joining any B school. So these are the two situations where it's like you just have to retake, irrespective of whatever situation that you are in. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, GP.
Yeah. In fact, just to add to the second point which you said, that India has 4,000 plus B schools and not more than 5%. And I'm being very liberal when I'm using the term 5% are worth joining. Okay. So if you are 5% is 200 out of 4,000. Okay. And hence it is very important for you to be clear that maybe you think you are not up to the mark and you will not get a good B school, but going to a B school which is not going to add any value to you in terms of your, let's say, education, in terms of your exposure, in terms of your knowledge and understanding, in terms of your practical exposure to the industry, there's no point doing it. Then you are better off not doing an MBA, because once you do an MBA from a very low level B school, which is not going to give you a career, then you will get stuck somewhere which will be lower than what you are currently. So be very clear about the B school you join, and at least we are very clear. You are looking at top 100, maybe 150, in the worst case 200 B schools in India, which are worth joining. Everything else is a complete waste of time and money.
There is one thing that I want to add here, which is this point. So a lot of us are sort of under pressure, saying that okay, I prepared. Maybe this is an attempt. I think that I just want to do an MBA, and this is a school that I've got, and I'll join. The that decision is to sort of escape something. You have to understand something that once you made the decision, right? Once you join a B school, after 2 years, there is no looking back. I mean, you're going to do an MBA only once in your life, right? And you cannot create a problem that you're going to worry after 2 years. Now, we do understand that there are a lot of situations which is very tricky. This may be a school you wanted to probably get into a school which is here. You got a school which is maybe one tier below. This is a very decent school, but still your aspiration a little more. That's a different situation. But in a situation like GP said, where you're going to get a school which is like I mean, schools way below in terms of ranking. There's absolutely no need to do an MBA, right? I mean, there are a lot of schools where you just walk in. You could have probably got into many of these schools without even writing the cat. Or,
Yeah.
uh, uh, the point is that this is very, very important, and these are two the simplest decision to take. Okay, so anyone here, I think that I think you just have to wait for the next part, which say that what should you do if you retake the test, right?
Yeah, and just one more thing, Gejo. Many girls come and say, Ki, sir, if I don't do MBA this year, my parents will get me married. Now, frankly, I don't have an answer to that situation of yours. Okay. If that is the situation and the only escape to marriage, I'm assuming you don't want to get married, is to do an MBA, then obviously what we are saying is completely irrelevant for you because you are in a unique situation. But short of that, please go to a B school which will give you a career, which will give you some kind of education and exposure to the business world so that you are able to at least progress in whatever you want to do.
So, JP, even in that situation, my take is eventually it's going to be your life. I'm sure that
Yeah.
this pressure that is happening. So, imagine, let's say,
As you always say, शादी के बाद divorce हो सकता है, MBA के बाद नहीं हो सकता.
correct, correct.
You've done
So,
an
let's say,
MBA from wherever you have done it.
once you're age of 30, you cannot, with 30, 35, you cannot go back and blame your parents for the things that you did, which is what is likely going to happen. Look, it was your decision, but eventually it's going to be your life. So those are the things I do understand. Some of these are very, very sort of tough decision, but in these two situations, but either you did not prepare at all, or that the B school that you're getting is absolutely bad, right? There is no need to join. I think you should not be joining. And whether you want to retake or not, cat, or you want to look at another other path to achieve the career goals, that's a different story. But there is no point in joining a school which is way, way, way below the aspiration that you have. So that sort of is number one. This obviously is very subjective. I'm sure that for some of you, even maybe a top 50 college will be way below our aspiration. So this is sort of a subjective. So you make the subject evaluation is that if it's way, way below your aspiration, there's no point joining. Okay. So that is the first part. So now we get into the sort of a little bit of a difficult decision, and we want to kind of look at three things, the three R's, so to speak: the reflect, reassess, and risk versus reward. And hopefully, at the end of this, you get some idea in terms of whether the decision that you're making is a good one or not. And we'll start with reflect, which is like, are you truly done? I mean, is it over? I mean, this it, or you still have some sort of dissatisfaction? For this, we will go through about five issues. The number one is, was your preparation your best preparation? I mean, does the cat reflect your true potential? GP, I think that we have seen so many students who have not even solved the previous year's cat paper, has not
Yes.
been consistent with mocks, had sort of half-baked rush preparation, and whatever score that you've got is not a reflection of where you are. Right? On the other hand, there could be some of you, you've prepared really hard for the cat. You gave everything. There is nothing more that you can give, and this is where you've reached, right? You have so the first question to ask yourself is, did you prepare well? If you have not prepared well, then you truly know that you have not prepared well. Then you know that the school that you're getting is not your potential school. Then it kind of makes sense to strongly evaluate retaking the cat, GP. So that's the first part. GP, your
Yes.
take?
Yeah, yeah, and to that, I will add one more question, which you need to ask yourself: why did you not prepare well, and how will you ensure that the same stupidity will not be repeated? Because you did not prepare well for whatever reason. You are going for a retake now. You don't have an option, but or don't have a choice, but you have to prepare well, and you have to keep many other things on the side and say, okay, this time I am going to focus sincerely on cat. So if you are not going to be disciplined this time, then retake is going to be a waste of time. You will again waste one more year and be in the same situation next year, thinking should I go for another retake or not. So ask yourself very simple question. Two questions Gejo has given. I have added a third question to it. How will I ensure the same thing will not be repeated this year?
Correct. So at the end of the day, it's going to be your career. No, there is you cannot be having regrets. So if let's say getting into any of these schools, forget about schools. In life in general, doing well requires a considerable amount of discipline and hard work. And if you're not willing to do it, then there is no point even thinking about retaking. I mean, you're right, GP. Uh, the second element is, what was a cat issue or is a VAT-PA issue? There are a lot of people
Yeah.
who probably would have done considerably well in the cat but did not convert the call.
Hmm.
uh, and you kind of know that, okay, next year if I prepare, it's very very likely that I'm going to get the similar score. Very likely, I'm using the word. So it's a conversion issue. So I can reflect on what is the thing that I have to do probably next year to ensure that I convert these calls. So that is sort of a very different issue than no good calls, right? So either it's a cat issue, or the second issue is that you did not convert
Hmm.
calls
Hmm.
of the school that
Hmm.
you really want, right, GP?
Hmm.
uh, Here
Yeah.
your take, GP.
Yeah. So on the first question of no good calls, that's something you need to look at your profile also. Because when you look at the IMs, most of the IMs not only look at your CAT score, they look at your gender, your academic background, they look at your marks in 10th, 12th graduation. And then that also can be a reason why you did not get good calls. Now, please understand, none of that is going to change this year. If you had poor marks in 10th, 12th graduation last year for CAT 24, you'll have poor marks for 10th, 12th graduation this year also. The only thing which can probably change is your work experience will go up by about the 6 months to 1 year, depending upon whether you have work experience or you are already working or you will look for a job. So be very conscious of this fact that no good calls could be because you put in the effort, you got the right score, but you did not get calls because of your profile. Remember, the profile issue will remain this year, and to be able to overcome that profile issue, you need to have one of the two things: either the significantly higher CAT score, or you will need to have some amount of work experience, which will again give you few points, which will allow you to get the good calls. Okay? Third thing which you need to look at is, yes, I don't have work experience. Even if I start working, I'll have 6 months of work experience. So 6 months of work experience is likely to give me 0 points. So then I need to be clear. My focus is not going to be these IMs, which are going to be focusing on the, which have a greater focus on the past academic record, but my focus will be institutes like MDI, like IFT, like XLRI, like Symbiosis, like NM, which do not pay that much attention to your past academics. So be aware of this. No good call. The reason for that, and again, what will change this year, or maybe you need to change your goal.
There is one more thing I want to add with respect to this no good call. And
Hmm.
if you have not prepped, then you're here only. No, so this is like you've
Yeah.
not got a good calls even after prep. When I'm putting in effort, there could be
Hmm.
another situation. There are a lot of cases when you've done really well in mocks, something happened on the day of the cat. I think I've seen these cases many a time. That
Yeah.
suddenly got blank. That this
Panic.
case, the cat was panic happened. The cat was the best performance on that day. Something did not work out. So in that case, then it's kind of a reflection of the fact that that cat you took is not your potential. You've got much better score in the mock. It makes a lot of sense to give one more shot. Definitely, if you've not got a call. Like GP said, the other scenario, you put in effort, you got the percentile, they just didn't call you. Then you have to have a very careful evaluation in terms of, okay, did I apply to other schools? Did I apply to the schools properly? Did I miss out on some of the schools? I've seen that many having that issue. So should I then give one more shot so I can get a slightly better school? So this is very carefully you'll have to evaluate that particular situation, GP. GP, this one got calls but didn't convert.
Yes, that's something I see this as a very very common feature actually. Got calls could not convert is a very common feature, and that's essentially because many times students don't give adequate attention to the interview preparation. Okay? And that means the one of the things you need to do is, yes, you have to go for a retake because you got the right call, you could not convert. Converting the call will need some amount of effort, and you have at least 6 to 9 months to take care of that. So start working on that. I would say definitely go for retake because you have the capability. You messed up with the interview process. Start working on it right now. Maybe your interview went into current affairs and you never focused on that. Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe your interview focused on your academics or your work experience and you were not able to explain it well. Start working on those areas. But got calls could not convert. I will say definitely you should go for the retake.
Correct. So this would be uh, there are these cases, GP, where somebody would say, I want to go to only ABC, but I got IIM Lucknow, I've got FMS. Okay, I couldn't convert.
That's something I've never been able to understand. Okay.
Okay.
That fixation with these three alphabets ABC. Okay. especially in the world of IM and in the world of IITs. Again, I want to go into those 4, 5, 6 IITs only. Two, I've never been able to understand. Ultimately, when you look at, let's take the specific example, ABC versus L, there's no difference between them. Every company, almost every company which goes to ABC will find it in L. There's no differentiation between the students who are, there's no differentiation by the company based on the institute out here. So there are times when it is, I feel that ego comes into the way, and students tend to just repeat for the heck of repeating because they want. And Gejo, you're from Calcutta. How many
Right.
times you have been asked, okay, which IIM are you from? Ultimately, you are evaluated. I am evaluated based on the kind of value we are able to add to the students. We are evaluated based on the kind of work we do in a workplace. We are not evaluated based on the institute we are from. And both of us have seen ample number of our batchmates, seniors and juniors who have not done well in their career because they did not put in the effort. So ultimately, it is you who will be the critical person. Don't just repeat for the sake of satisfying your ego.
Right. And the C is more in terms of sort of these are this is this is you have to essentially how happy are you with the school that you got, right? I think that this is the question that you are, doesn't meet your aspiration. Uh,
Hmm.
the school may still be good, right? And many in many of cases I've seen that say good or bad is eventually a perspective, right? Some of you feel that NMIM is a great school. Some of you feel that that is not the school for me. Some of you even feel that Go and Student Management is fantastic school for me. Some of you feel that Go and Student Management is not the school for me. So eventually that everybody had a different sense of aspiration, right? And you are actually sitting and thinking, okay, the school that I got doesn't meet aspiration. It's a good school, but it is not doesn't meet my aspiration. Should I retake? And this would be genuinely asking this question: is that the effort that you put, and which will obviously will come to it later, would you be able to, from moving to this particular tier school to that tier school, even though this is a good school, but you really want to aspire to a better school, would you be able to put in that effort and put in the kind of scores? Evaluating your mock score, did your mock performance last year reflect that you had a great chance of getting to the school? Did you put in that effort? Uh, and that obviously, do you have the profile to be there in the school? So you have to have those careful realization, and not kind of simply fall for some sort of ego that you have, or let's say that that said, I'm sure that you should not be getting to school that you regret. So this is something that you have to evaluate. Obviously I cannot give there is no right or wrong answer to this question, but that is one sense that you would ask yourself. Meet your aspiration, not your parents, not your friends, but your own aspiration. And eventually it's going to be your career. If you want to sort of put in that effort, and know that next year at least I'll get into a school similar to the thing that it's school that I've got today, right? Then I would want to give one more shot to myself. Then you do rating the cat is what I say. Yeah.
Gijo, there's a question out here, so I think I'll pick it up on the screen,
Yeah.
shared on the screen. It is effectively Pulvi is saying the same thing. I'm struggling with this question. I could not get any good B school this year, still waitlisted. I already have a 2 year gap. I am sure what should be my strategy.
Which comes RD. How many attempts have you made already? All right. So it's sort of a difficult question. Now the fact that you got into this 2 year cap is your decision, right? Whatever be that situation is. I don't know what the gap was. Now you are in a situation where you are thinking, okay, next year if I'm going to prepare, I have to pick up. I cannot have the one more gap now. Okay, so I have to pick up a job. If I pick up a job, where will I apply? Who's going to give me the job? Uh, and anyways, case CAT is only going to evaluate the work experience till July 31st. During the interview, at least I should sort of have a job. Can I manage these two things together? These are a lot of questions. But if you don't have a good school at all in your hand, irrespective of how many attempts that you have, right? Whether going back to this situation, if you're in this situation, then you have to take the cat once again. But if you have a decent school, I mean, the school does offer a decent career. It may not have met your exact aspiration, but nevertheless, you can still say that I can fix this one up and to pick up a different fight to do well in the particular school, do well later on in my career. Then I think that you should probably take the school that you have. It all depends upon the school that you have at this point in time.
Yeah.
But if
And it will be helpful for us to be able to guide you better. It will be helpful if you can just put in which schools you have and a little bit about your background. So at least
yeah,
we'll have some information to be able to comment on. Okay.
so
So let's continue. I'll remove Purvi from the screen till she puts in more information.
all right, first attempt.
Hmm.
I think the first attempt, मतलब you should give one more attempt, ना GP.
हाँ. देखो फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट ठीक है हो जाता है and the first time you take a paper there could be nerves, there could be multiple things. Maybe you were doing it along with your college, you did not manage your time well, maybe you did not have sufficient time to prepare. First attempt, I think that's perfectly fine to go for a retake. But when you're going for a retake, I will always insist, Kial, can you pick up a job? Don't just prepare. Because when you're only preparing, there are two negatives which happen. And here I'm not bothered about the points for work experience. That if you get is a bonus to me. When you're working and preparing for CAT, what happens when you go for the interview? The interview is not focused only on academics, that focusing more on your work, because the practical application of what you have studied is what gets tested there. So your work experience becomes a good distraction from your academics also. And otherwise, typically for freshers, the entire interview goes towards academics and current affairs. Secondly, that pressure. If you, after all, how many hours a day will you prepare? Maybe 4-5 hours, optimistically 6 hours. What will you do for the balance day? Out of the 24 hours, 8 to 10 hours you will sleep, you'll freshen up, you'll do the regular stuff which you're supposed to do. What are you going to do the balance 6 to 8 hours? The only thing you will do is you will worry. What if it does not go through? What if I am not able to do well? So, but if you have a job at hand, you don't have time to worry about such things. You do your work, you do your preparation, sleep, next day start again. So that's a much better situation to be in. That panic, that pressure of performance goes away significantly if you are preparing and working together.
Yeah, GP. I think that this in itself can be a different session, and I absolutely agree with GP. And I'll add a couple of more things to what GP has already said. When you have a lot of time, you also have a lot of time to think and a lot of time to do stupid things, right? So when you have less time, right? So if you're working, you have less time. Then you are actually start thinking about what is the most effective thing to do. What are the things that I have to specifically do to improve my score? When you have a lot of time, you just have to fill the time. You'll be the one going to all sort of Telegram group, watching all sort of YouTube videos, right? And collecting content after content, worrying too much the time. And then one worst thing is, right, irrespective of whatever school that you get, no, you'll end up taking that school because you don't have any backup. So yes, so I would strongly and absolutely agree with GP that I mean, you should, but I'm sure that there are many of you who have taken the decision to take a gap to prepare for the exam. Fine, and I think you stand by the decision. But if you have a choice of picking up something, I think that is very, very important that you pick up. What about third, fourth attempt, GP, and not getting the school that they got?
See, CAT preparation or taking CAT is not a career in itself. At some stage, you have to come down and say, okay, bahut ho gaya, let me move on. Let me take the best option available right now and move on. And that best option could be don't do MBA, do something else also. But all I'm saying is you have done 3-4 attempts. You need to take a serious look at yourself. Is it worth continuing? Maybe you can go for a fifth attempt also. I know students who have gone for fifth attempt and done well. But that's a conscious call you need to take. Because please understand, the Indian system is such that it's your snakes and ladder. You don't, and it's worse than snakes and ladder because every time you fail, you start from zero again. It's not that you got 99.7 percentile this time. Next year you don't have to take CAT. You straight away go for interviews. No, you'll have to take CAT again. You'll have to go through that grind again. So it can be very, very frustrating also at times. So ask yourself: Are you someone who will be happy doing it again? Okay. So it's again not like the first attempt. Repeat करना चाहिए. बिल्कुल मैं बोलूँगा करो, कोई टेंशन नहीं है. Third, fourth attempt, I think that's a call you need to take. How well does it fit in? And most importantly, what is going to happen this year that will change significantly things for you and you will be able to do well.
So that is reflect. That is reassess. Okay, there's something that GP talked about, but I want to pick it up separately. But can you really change can you change what really needs to change, right? Uh, so what? We'll start. I'll start with B, with something that GP they discussed last time. What's your challenge? Is if the challenge is cat, it can still be trained, right? I mean, you can still do something. I think at least theoretically, it can be trained. But something about profile. If the issue with respect to you getting a call, for example, the school that you want to go to is Bangalore only, or school like that, or top schools, and you know that given the profile that you have, it's very, very unlikely that you're going to get called. The only way to get called is probably I'm Calcutta if you get a 99.8 or 99.9 percentile, right? And then you really don't have a chance with many of the schools. Then maybe FMS, Excel, MDI, IFT, those schools which actually do not have the strict profile criteria that the schools have. One can obviously sit and debate why do they have this criteria, because but they set the rules for the game, and they will go with it. And I think that's kind of important to kind of look at, to truly assess your situation and profile and see what are the chances of getting into school here, right? And for to that end, there is I am the CL's MBA Profiler. You put your data, and it gives a report in terms of your likely chances of getting into schools, which schools are a strong match, which schools is a no match. And then you can really assess in terms of whether you want to put in the effort one more time to get to the school of your choice, right? So there's a QR code here. You can go there, put your data, and sort of get a sense in terms of which are the schools that will map you, right? So yeah. So if a challenge was cat, and I've seen GP students with very low percentile in one of the sections and getting very high percentile the next year. So
Absolutely.
yeah, even I've seen people moving from 5 percentile in VRC to 97% in VRC. I've seen it at least in my course VRC 1000. I've seen that. I'm sure that GP has seen that over the years, right? And I think that CAT after all is an examination which does not require too much of intelligence. Intelligence does a part, okay, but you just have to understand what the category test. You have to be absolutely disciplined. And for instance, even if you look at something like a QA, right? So GP, what is the 90th percentile in QA? Just um, uh,
90th percentile will be something like 20 marks, 22 marks.
in maths, just QA.
And QA will be about 6 to 7 questions, 7 questions, let's say.
6 to 7 question. And I remember the 50th percentile, which is like
Uh-huh.
beating 1.5 lakh. It's about 3 marks, right?
3 marks.
It's like 3 4 marks. It's one question, right? So the point is that CAT does not require you to solve and get all the questions correct, right? uh, but so even if, let's say, you are in whatever situation that you're in, and if the issue was with respect to CAT, and irrespective of the fact that you thought you prepared, right? And if the school that you got is doesn't meet your aspiration, you're unhappy about the choice that I have, you can afford to give one more shot. And if it's a challenge with CAT, I would strongly recommend that you should go for a retake, because there is no point sitting and worrying about it sort of later. Give yourself one more shot. That's what I would say. But of course, it is your choice, GP.
Yeah.
And
So,
yeah,
yeah, just to add to what Gejo said, if the issue is CAT, first thing I'll again repeat what Gejo said. CAT is not a very difficult paper. It does not require a huge amount of knowledge or intelligence. CAT is not JE is what you need to remember. The challenge is CAT is not the knowledge part, but how you take the paper. So with very little knowledge, you can also get a good score provided you understand the art of paper taking. And I find many students who have good knowledge falter in CAT in this area. And hence, if you are one of those who say, after the paper, my card score comes out to be very high. In quant, I'm able to do 16 out of 22 questions. In English, I'm able to do lots of questions. In DILR, I'm able to solve 3 to 4 sets out of 5 sets. Then knowledge is not an issue. The issue is how are you attempting the paper, and that is what you should be looking at. So if we go back to the first question that Gejo had asked us, that reflect what went wrong. Was it the knowledge part or was it the Was it the way you are taking the paper? That taking paper or the art of paper taking is something extremely important. So that again is something which you will be working for. I have never been enamored by the knowledge quotient for CAT. It's very low. It's end of the day 10 standard paper of maths, English, and reading. Okay. Yes, the level of difficulty of questions is higher than what you would have encountered in class 10, but the concepts or the knowledge required is there. It is not a high level knowledge. So if that knowledge you have, then you need to be working on the other aspect, which is how to take the paper.
Yeah. So this question number B, this cat is a prep issue. Profile, you can't do anything. So the question number A, in terms of, this is more in terms of how do you say, I don't know whether it's emotional or whatever. These are issues that are created outside of you but within you. So you, for example, simply, can you afford one more year? Emotionally, you're thinking about, I have to go through this whole pain once again, right? Socially, your
It's a very
parents are
frustrating process.
the parents are already seen you sitting at home for one whole year and said that, yeah, just get to the school, get to the school, don't do this. And you've got issues with financially. Your issue with respect to, I'm employed, great. I mean, if you're employed, at least you can continue the employment. If you're studying in the college, okay, you can say that, okay, this was my first attempt, I can do it. And then, like somebody was saying that I was not, I'm sitting at home and preparing the examination, I don't have any choice. And eventually this is something that you kind of have to take care of yourself. But always remember that this is what I want to tell you. Always remember, you are making this decision when you look at the situation now as to where you are. It's sort of very difficult to figure out, but just sort of zoom out. No, you're doing all this because you want to have the impact on a career that is going to span for the next 30-40 years of your life. uh, would you be willing to take care of situation? If, for example, if it is, for instance, right, if you are sitting idle, and you have a sort of a gap, you say that, okay, I can do an MBA anytime in my life. Let's assume that, I mean, a lot of people say that uh, with the schools in India requires only two years experience and stuff, but there are a lot of programs available, right? There is 1 year MBA program. There are even different versions of management program one can do in many of the B schools. There are a lot of other things that you can do. You can just say, okay, what I want to do is, at this point in time, forget about CAT, but let me just take care of my situation now. And then once I'm a little more safe, sort of in a place, I'll figure out something. You can make those decisions, right? What you should not be doing, and that's something that I want. I want to come back and say once again. Your solution cannot be, okay, I got this some ABC school. I'm just going to go to the school. I'll worry about it things 2 years later. I think that if the school is bad or school doesn't meet your aspiration, and I genuinely feel deep down that this is not the school that I want to join. This is not what I want. This is not, even if a lot of others are saying that, then that you have a lot of choices. Not even doing MBA ever in your life is also a great choice, rather than getting into a situation which is giving you a bad outcome. But this present situation is, you have to have an honest conversation with yourself, and make a conscious sort of a decision. Right? Picking up something that you know, like DP said, MBA is you want to do once in your life, right? So picking up something is sort of very important in terms of assessing where you stand today, um, and 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 figuring out what sort of the next step is. And in many cases that if you start asking people around, you're only going to get confused, where people will give you a different perspective, different answers, but nobody knows your unique situation. The only person that knows the unique situation is you. So you just sit with yourself, have an honest conversation with yourself, and sort of take care of that. If you're in a bad situation, okay, let's forget about it. Take care of the situation at this point in time, and you can obviously postpone your higher education ideals maybe after 1 or 2 years. But nevertheless, I think if don't randomly jump to and pick up colleges that won't make sense to you. That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So there is yeah, this I've covered. Risk versus reward. I think this is a simple situation. Um, so you probably, this is the school that you got. Let's assume that this is a school that you got, and this is sort of the school that you want. And at this point in time, you can evaluate this gap in whichever way, right? In terms of the scores that is required, the profile that is required. So that's sort of the gap that you want to fill. So your first question that you want to ask yourself is, can you? What is upside of a retake? Is it realistic for me to get there? Last year when I took the mock and stuff, I have got scores in the mocks to be here. I have gotten in me. Something happened in the particular examination. That there is a great upside for me. Is that whatever I'm getting now and whatever I can get is a huge difference in terms of careers and goals and aspiration. That's going to have a huge impact, right? So this is, or maybe for example, the upside is okay. Getting the school. The only reason why I did not get the school is I missed the cutoff at DLR. All I have to do is clear the cutoff DLR. I can manage the other two sections. I know I can do it. I probably did not do a good job last year. Maybe I did not solve all the cat questions. I don't did not watch GPS Jugaad videos. I should have done a better job with respect to this. So that's sort of the upside. And the downside is if you don't take it. The question is, if I don't get this school next year, am I losing on something? Or would it be possible for me to get school similar to this or slightly better? This I think at personal. Okay, am I okay with the situation of not having the school at all, and I'll be fine? Uh, or is it like if I'm not able to, if, next year if I'm going to get the same school, is still fine? No, I mean, you just sort of lost 1 year. But if I don't even get the school next year, then what? So that is sort of a risk that you evaluate, and the reward that you have for the decision, and that trade-off is what you have to figure out. Yeah,
Yeah.
GP. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. See, end of the day, the critical question you need to ask yourself is, uh, if I'm able to reach to the school that I desire to go to, how is it going to significantly change things for me? If the incremental benefit from the school you have today or the MBA institute you have today versus the one which you are likely to get 1 year down the line, I'm using the word likely because I'm assuming you'll put in the effort and you'll get it. Is it worth it or not is the question you need to ask yourself. Okay? Because as we said, the entire process is painful and there is no guarantee at the end of the day that you will definitely make it. Okay? So the question you should ask yourself before you decide to go for retake, if I join this particular B school which is there in front of me, which I've got, will it significantly improve my current situation? Right now, where I'm in my career, by joining this existing B school, if it is going to significantly improve my situation, I should consider joining the school if I'm not sure about being able to make it next year. But if the answer is no, this school which I've got, it is not going to significantly improve my situation, then to me the answer is again very clear. There's no point joining this B school. Okay, so please be clear that there have been cases in the past. I have seen students who got Indore and left IFT left and went next year to A, B, or C. Okay, I don't agree with it, but that's their fault. They did it. I've also seen students who left Indore and Kozhikode and next year ended up in a Ranchi or a Raipur. So that's a challenge which is there in front of you that you should be able to handle that downside. And there will be social pressure also, what Gejo has written, family pressure. Again, as I said, girls have this unique issue where parents insist on getting them married if they don't get into a decent B school. So that's a challenge you have to face. How you tell your parents to back off is something you need to work out. But these are questions you need to ask yourself that that should I go for retake or not. And my bottom line would be, you should be reasonably sure of being able to significantly improve your B school. From a tier 3 B school to a tier 3 B school next year, no great jump. You might as well do a MBA this year. But from a tier 3 to tier 1 or a tier 2 even is definitely an improvement, and that is what you should be looking for.
correct. So the fact that you're sitting and watching this video, it likely tells me something. Okay, I think that the only reason why you watch the video is deep down you don't want the school that you got, right? And if that is the situation that kind of you are in, right? So you retake. If you know what went wrong, you've got the drive, and you're chasing real upside. Those are the three sort of things that you have to say yes to. I know what went wrong, which means I'm aware of the situation that I'm in, that I'm aware what I have to improve, and I've got to drive the commitment and the discipline to put in whatever it takes the next year to make it. And you can see actually real upside. I can actually see a school. You can at this point imagine, okay, this is where I want to be. I know what went wrong last year. I didn't get there. I know I've got a drive to reach there. And I know for a fact that it is possible for me to get there. Then yes, retake. But if you're unsure, you're tired, you already have a decent path ahead, and then don't retake. The because you got to go through the process once again, right? You're going through the same. You're going to take the mock. You're going to look at the stuff, and if you don't have answer to the first three questions, then don't retake. But irrespective of whatever decision that you take, whether retake or not retake, be peace with the decision, right? But peace with the decision and knowing for a fact that that you've made the best decision based on the situation that you had today, and then at the end of the day, you're going to work towards sort of your career every single time. Take it a day, and then fight hard to go there. And remember what GP said in the beginning. And I've seen a lot of my batchmate, my seniors, my juniors who have not really done well. Uh, in their career, even after being in one of the top schools. And I've seen people in much lower B schools than the school that I went in. I've done much far better than where I've reached. So it's a question of what eventually you do in your career. B school does help. And one other thing that I want to say is that there is no point joining some random B school. It's not an MBA that you're chasing. You are chasing a career, which means you want to be in a place. The B school is important, not the degree. The B school want to be in a place who's going to give opportunities, so which opens door, right? So that at least you can knock on the door and the door opens and invites you for that opportunity. And to get that opportunity, obviously you have to do a lot many stuff. You're looking at that, right? So that's sort of what I want to say to sort of cover this first part of the discussion before we get into what's it that you should do. Okay, GP. uh,
I think Gio, you have covered it entirely, and I think this slide is something that if you are looking at retake, you need to be maybe taking a screenshot of this slide and ask yourself these two questions. The what that the guideline is very clearly given. Just follow it and take a call for yourself.
So if you have decided to retake, I think that we'll just talk about five things, right? And this is sort of a starting point. You've decided, and if you have decided, you've decided. Then there is no looking back. Don't go in the middle of the preparation going, I should have taken the school. No, okay. What is likely going to happen? That if you're going to retake, your batchmates would have been in a situation where they're in a school, they're talking about a lot many stuff. You'll be in a very different situation. But you know for you should not allow all those things to worry. And we'll talk about five simple things, broad ideas. Okay, this we are not sharing a plan, but sort of a broad idea. Starting with number one, reframe the retake. So first tell yourself this is not a repeat. This is a restart with the insight that you have about the test that you took last year, that you knew what happened. You understand CAT. You know what CAT is. You know what BRC's test. You know what DLR test. At this point in time, I'm getting into preparation with a far more insight than what I had last year. So this is not a repeat. This I'm not repeating CAT. I'm restarting my prep with a lot of insight. That's one. Number two is let go of shame or guilt. You're playing the long game. I've seen sort of people sitting and preparing for the CAT and worrying about, oh my god, in the last year this happened, last year this happened, last year this happened. Let it go. Okay. Focus out of the new journey. And I'll tell you that you didn't fail. Okay, you just figured out how not to do it. You basically understood how not to take CAT from your last preparation. That's what you understood. And sort of reframe the retake that you're taking. This is sort of first part, GP.
Yeah, and to me, this is the most important line is the middle one. Let go of the shame and guilt. People around you are going to keep reminding you failed last time. What are you doing different this year? Just have faith in yourself. Now that you have decided, I am going to go for it. Go for it. Just isolate yourself from all that noise, all that uncles and aunts who keep reminding you that you messed up last time. Yes, it happened. Many of us mess up multiple times, and then we get it right one time. So this is the time you'll get it right. So just get started with it. Don't worry about what your neighbors, what your uncles and aunts, parents, brothers, sisters, cousins, close friends, the Kamina wala friends who keep reminding you कि साले तू fail हो गया था. Keep avoiding them and keep focusing on what you're supposed to do.
Correct. Number two. Okay. Don't start. Right. Don't assume problem. First step is to diagnose. So you take a mock or a diagnostic test immediately. Right. So then identify the concept issue, strategy flaw. What is the panic problem? This what is test taking issue? And you're not focusing on covering syllabus. You're focusing on attacking your real weaknesses in this prep. I know, for example, I can give this example. I keep giving the example of this student, right, whom I had taken an interview last time. It's there in my channel. He says that he got a 99 point. That was his fourth attempt, and his percentile was like 99.6 plus every time. But he could not clear the cutoff of DLR. And I remember him telling me what he did. Eventually made it to IIM Bangalore. What he did for DLR preparation. I mean, he started taking DLR sectionals in 10 minutes. He said that what if I panic for 30 minutes? What I'm going to do in 10 minutes? He said that I started taking these mock tests when there are a lot of noise around me. What if I want to recreate sort of the situation and handle the problem that I had last year, right? So it was not just about covering syllabus. It's also about attacking the weakness. So what the first step that I got today is that you take a mock, you take a diagnostic test, list down what you have to sort of do, what are the tasks that you have to do, and don't just randomly start your preparation, but get to understand what is the problem that you're trying to solve this year, right? So that's important. That's number two.
Yeah, and just to add to what Gejo has said, even if you have done a half-hearted preparation the previous attempt, you have covered bulk of the syllabus. And
Correct.
CAT is an interesting paper where frankly there's no syllabus for the verbal section. After the RC passage, a parajumble can be picked up from anywhere. So there's no syllabus for English. Similarly, if you look at DILR, every year you have different kind of data sets. So the only thing you do when you're preparing for DILR, get the approach right. And then in the examination, again, the data set can be of any different kind. The only section which has some kind of syllabus is quantitative aptitude or maths. And not only did you do it last time, you also did it in class 8, class 9th, and class 10th. So by and large, how many times will you study simple interest, compound interest again? So unless you were someone who had a 13 percentile in quant, there's no syllabus to be worried about. What you need to be worrying about is, as Gejo said, what did I do wrong last time? What was the issue which I need to address this time? Yes, DILR is the issue. Maybe I did not practice it sufficiently. Maybe I can solve the data set, but my speed is not up to the mark. So address that speed issue then. So your job is to first identify what went wrong with me and then start working on that issue, not blindly start with the syllabus and say, okay, sab kuch karna hai. For example, if your quant and English and DILR are fine, verbal is your challenge, then take BRC 1000. And similarly, identify what aspect of your preparation or what aspect of your syllabus you need to focus on and work towards that.
Yeah. Number three, choose the right prep. Okay. So first of all, let's be honest. Can you self-learn, or do we need a structured guidance? Right. So if you need a structured guidance, then you have a classroom course. And even if there are a lot of self-prep classroom courses available, then you say that pick a mentor or a course or a system that fits your style and schedule. Right. And more very much, don't waste your time another year watching random YouTube hopping and patchy. But this is what you did and you did here, right? So whatever the course that I'm sure that within career launch itself we have got a lot of course, right? So for example, some of you already have done reasonably well last year. So let's look at a situation of someone whose issue was the bad prep neighbor. So then test series is the solution, right? Test series should be good enough. Some of you said, okay, I have got I did not make any sort of prep. I was running here and there, maybe a classroom or an online classroom course would be of help. So I have or maybe let's say particular issue with DLR I have, particular issue with VRC I have. Then there is a VRC 1000 or a DLR 1000 as a course. And maybe you say that, okay, what I need is sort of somebody who's going to mentor me. I know that sort of is very, very difficult for me to in online to find the right kind of mentorship. I probably want to go to a place to get the mentor. I would want to talk to someone, whatever it is. So here it picking up, when I say right, I'm not saying best, I'm not saying good, but I'm saying right for you. What is the course that you believe is right for you? What is the prep plan that is right for you? And what kind of guidance that is required? You have taken the prep last year, or you have studied last year. You are more aware than many of the students who are doing it for the first time, right? So you're aware of the situation that year, that last year. So you don't want to repeat those things from last year that did not sort of to help you out. But there is, irrespective wherever your test series is something that is a must. I mean, so you have taken CDC Pro. So that sort of CDC. That's a must. Whether you want to take it with the classroom course, whether you want to take it with an online course, whether you want to take it with the VRC 1000 or a DLR 1000. Those are sort of your choice that you sort of have to make now, GP. Yeah.
Yeah, and one more thing, if you are by and large well prepared last year, the only thing you, as Gejo said, you need is a test series, and you could also look at OpenCat. OpenCat is the platform that we have created where the entire study material, what you need for preparation, is available for you for free. Just join there, and then you can do everything which you need. But obviously, such a program is something that you can do only if you are disciplined and you can study on your own. If you are someone who knows that you need regular guidance, then please go quietly to a classroom program or an online program based on what is better suited for you.
Yeah. So this is a okay. I think there you go. Yeah, this is an open CAT program. Essentially, we have put in. So for example, I have created various versions of VRC 1000 over the years, and one of the versions that I created from the past is put free for everyone to watch. Similarly, the DLR videos that I've created, or the maths video that I've created. So we have put in full-length mocks, Jugaad solutions. These are all absolutely free of cost. And if there is someone sitting and saying that I'm just going to go to YouTube random channels and do this and that, and then this is a little more structured than that. So there's an open cat. You can check it out. There's a QR code. You can check it out and figure out the navigate the sort of the platform and see what you want to do. But find sort of the right prep. If the right prep is self-learning, then it's self-learning. Okay, your right prep, you lead up a YouTube channel, then it's YouTube channel. I would disagree, but yeah, I think I've eventually realized it's very there's videos on YouTube now. I have put a lot of YouTube videos on my channel as well, but what you'll actually find is that it's so very appealing to say, okay, I've got the best sort of thing free of cost, but trying to figure out what is it, where is it, which one you have to pick, which one you not have to pick. It's sort of very painful. I think that the simplest thing to do is get in terms of structured sort of program, a well structured one, whether that is through online classroom or this so a small dash program or wherever. Okay, so that's sort of this is my personal suggestion, but you can decide. Yeah. Number 4, build a strategy. Okay. In terms of the phase 1, building your concepts, your mocks and sectional and peak mocks, you're setting weekly goal and checkpoint. Consistency beats intensity. It's about you be consistent. You have to show up. So to create the plan of action, we may create a separate session in altogether on top of this, but create a sort of plan of action, sort of your prep. Take a help or any mentor to help you out, or to self-analyze and make your preparation structured this year. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah, GP.
Yeah. To me, the last line is extremely important. Consistency. CAT is not a paper which requires you to do 8 hours a day, but definitely wants you to do 2 to 3 hours a day on a consistent basis for 3 to 6 months. If you are not going to be consistent, if you do 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day for 3 weeks, and 1 week you vanish, Don't do anything. After that, you'll virtually be starting afresh again. So please remember, consistency is extremely important. Secondly, CAT is something which is a paper which, apart from being consistency, also requires you to be remembering things. Remember, it is not easy paper. It is not a very difficult paper. Okay, and what happens is, you have done a particular kind of DILR set today. Next 3 months, you have not looked at it. You will again, next time you pick it up, you will need to start from scratch to understand the logic. Same thing with quant also. Not so much with verbal, but for quant and DILR, revision is extremely important. So you need to also get into the habit of revising. If you are not going to revise, you will keep doing new things and keep forgetting the older ones. And which means, when you're going for the paper, the corpus of knowledge or corpus of understanding which you have will be very, very limited. So be consistent, revise regularly. So do a few things, but do them so many times that you won't make a mistake. Don't try to do everything under the sun, but whatever you do it consistently.
And I think that this is going to be, you've seen this mock and analysis,
Yeah.
mocks analysis. This is I mean, you can
In
ask
fact,
anyone. Uh,
I think the first that open mock is on now. I
I
think we
think
have
so.
the analysis also in the coming week, so we'll meet there.
Yeah. And the fifth one, and this is, I mean, this is such a broad idea. Create and join a study circle or a pick a mentor who checks in. Uh, I think that be accountable to yourself. If you want to have an accountability partner, have an accountability partner. You track mocks, you reflect weekly. You post score somewhere, maybe in your room, but uh, ensure that you are sort of you are around with a set of very, very serious aspirants who means it. You're not around with people who are going to be negative or stuff. I'm again saying that you create structure around your prep. With structure, will grow, right? So there are a lot of at least within career launcher, and I'm sure that you
Yeah,
can find the
out here,
benefit.
in fact, one of the flaws in preparation which I see in large number of students is they avoid taking mocks. Most of these students come from that school or college point of view, that I will take a paper only when I have done the syllabus. As I said, there's no syllabus for English, there's no syllabus for DILR, there's some semblance of syllabus only for quant, and which you have done in 8, 9, 10, and in the preparation also. And to top it, you don't need to do getting about 50% of the question. 10 to 12 questions will get you 99 percentile. 10 to 12 questions out of 22 to 24 questions, depending on the paper. So this is a paper where you need to take mocks right from the beginning. The art of paper taking gets developed only when you take a mock. Only when you take a mock will you be able to identify where are you messing up. Is it the temperament issue? Is it time issue? Is it too much of wastage of time on a particular question? What is it that you are doing wrong? Is you will be able to find out only when you take a mock. So please take the mocks, the test series as per the schedule. Don't miss out even a single mock. Every mock has to be taken. Every mock has to be analyzed to identify what went right and what went wrong, so that you can repeat or continue with what went right, and you can rectify what did not go right.
Yeah, like GP said, reflect. I'll probably use a better word, revise. Okay, so that's a track, take mock regularly, revise. And just sort of will be around. I think that especially if you're a repeater, it's going to be a lot of frustration and you have a lot of doubts and stuff. It maybe could be a part of sort of a community that can sort of help you. It's not necessary, okay, but I would. Once you typically pick up sort of any prep and course, but don't do overdo. Don't be in 15, 20 telegram group and every single thing that you do is you keep asking others, figuring out if others are in the same problem. But at the end of the day, that it's important that you that you have a very purposeful, structured the preparation, creates a method to the madness for the next 6 months and do well. Yeah, and that's it. Retaking cat is not about proving the world wrong. It's about doing justice to the version of you that started this journey.
Okay. So Jijo, I'll pick up a few questions from here.
Sure.
So Varun is saying he's joined the VRC 1000. How to get started? Varun, there's a long forum. There's a VRC group. I think that is where you should be asking. Just because Jijo is here, I'll not allow him to. I'll not pick up this question. Just to telling everyone, yeah, let's focus on the issue at hand. Okay. Uh, a slightly connected issue. Going to tap me this year. Any tip? What tip can you give, Jijo?
Yeah, slog. Okay.
No.
Okay. So that is
Work hard.
work really hard, work smart, work hard, to play the game and do well in the campus. I'm saying that getting in the campus, and it doesn't matter which college are you going to, right? The
Yeah.
second thing, the tip that you have is never have bloody regret. Don't
Hmm.
start sitting and tap me and figure out fault about tapping up. You can do that everywhere, right? I think the people who sit in a place and then gossip about the place are the worst,
Hmm.
according to me, right? So what you want to do is that every single school that you go through, everything will have some sort of problem or issue, right? You've heard lot many stuff outside. Now you're getting inside. But what you want to do is make the best of what the college offers you. Pick up opportunity, involve yourself as much as you can in terms of activity, and pick up learning and do well in the course, and then get out with a lot of amazing experiences. What I would recommend.
And Kaushik, Tapi is a great place. Put in the effort, as Jesus said. Don't think that I could have gone to a better B school. You are going to a good B school. Put in the effort, you'll have a great career. Remember, it is you who will decide what kind of career you'll have, not the institute. Remember, both Satya Nadella and who's the other person?
Sundar Pichai. नहीं.
Sundar Pichai.
Satya
One
Nadella
is from Manipal, one is from IIT Kharagpur. Okay, so ultimately it is you who makes the difference. The institute will only give you a start. Okay. Jijo, Purvi has given us some more information about herself. Let's see what does she say. She's got waitlisted in I'm Sambalpur, in Nagpur again waitlisted. Instantly, both of them are waitlist number 107. Sambalpur में chance hai. Don't know what to do. Should I take it or not? And just for earlier, she had said she has a 2 years gap. What should be her best strategy? So, Purvi, my suggestion is, and again, when I'm saying suggestion, I'm giving you two things, and you need to decide which one works best for you. If you convert any of these, please go ahead and join. Okay. There's already a 2 year gap, and I'm sure there will be social pressure. All of these are good institutes, and they will give you a decent career. However, if you don't convert or you are not happy with these institutes and you want to go for retake, please pick up a job and prepare parallelly. Okay? Because having a job, as we discussed earlier, will ensure you will not have time to think about unnecessary items. Secondly, having a work or job will also ensure your interview will be much more focused.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Jijo, SRC, 98.33 percentile in CAT 23. Okay. Got interview call from IT Bombay. I am CAP, could not convert in CAT 24, messed up the attempt, retaking CAT 25. SRC first thing would be as no work experience की कहानी मत करो, please job ले लो एक. Please start working. If you have a family business, please start working there. Don't have family business, there are jobs available. You may not like the kind of job, most of them will be sales and marketing kind of job, but there are ample number of jobs available, provided you are willing to pick it up. Okay, having another year of gap or increasing your gap, to me is not only stupid but also harmful from an interview perspective. So retake to me is not an issue. Pick up a job, start preparing.
So my take with respect to you getting a call and not converting is crime, right? We already did one crime. We went to jail once, right? We're not going to get to the jail once again. So so that is number one. So if let's say if you're going to get a call in 2025, pick up PDP personalized. So that sort of is number one. Okay, that's a structured sort of course available to help you convert. You got a high chance of converting. Number two, you messed up CAT 2024, ignore it, right? You're taking CAT 2025, forget about CAT 2024. It's something that happened on that day. So if, let's say, if something happened on the particular day, you can, if you figure out what is that you got to do this year, you can simulate lot many stuff in some of the mock that you've taken, right? For example, if it's a panic issue, simulate panic. Now, don't do anything for the first 10 minutes, right? And then take mocks in a couple of mocks, right? Simulate and then work sort of towards it, or do something uh, this year in the mock with very purposeful practice. All right. No work experience, like GP said. Yeah. So this is like which means that you've taken CAT twice now. So my feeling is that you've taken the CAT first time in your graduation, then you took a drop, and then you took the CAT. Now you're looking at second. I think you'll pick up a job. Yeah.
And SIC, quite possibly that CAT 24 messed up would also have happened because of that pressure of performance. I had a good score last year, could not convert calls this year. If I don't do well, I'm going to again have an issue. What will I do in the future? That pressure of performance would have been a significant contributor for you not doing well in CAT 24. And which is why having a job, creating a backup, having alternate paths available is going to be helpful in terms of your preparation also. Gejo, two-part question. The first part is from Atul Jaiswal. Gave 3 attempts in CAT, though the graph is upwards, but couldn't get good colleges. Now the situation is I graduated in September 21. Had a gap after that and confused if it should be one more time.
You didn't get into good colleges, no? So okay,
He did not get into good.
So we have to get into good college. Okay, so basically this is what it is. Okay, let's say should I apply to foreign university? First of all, foreign university means it can be in Afghanistan also. No, but foreign means what? And the second of all, when you look at foreign university, let's say in US itself, that is going to be very good school and it will be very bad school. At the end of the day, we are getting into good school, so you can apply to foreign universities. And you can apply to the good college. Now your last part, whether I could get admitted and get a job because of a gap, there are too many questions. I think that the simple thing to do is start at taking actions, right? Apply. No, should I apply? Apply to karna hai na? So apply to colleges, apply to job, because we are not going to sit and get into a bad place. There is no point. You have taken the decision of taking the gap because you want to prepare 3 saal veteran ho gaya na yaar. 3 saal you have prepared, you know what CAT is, right? So you know exactly what you got to do with respect to the test, so you can do it along with the job. So my solution to is very, very simple. Take actions, think about preparing for the CAT, apply to the colleges that you want, and apply it for a job, and then I'm sure there are a lot of jobs available even for people with gaps. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, great. So, Akant, I gave up last year. I messed up, and in 6 months, can I prepare for this exam? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
There's no issue with that. And if you have prepared last year, even if you have done a half-hearted preparation, you have got some basics in place now. So just get started with it. See, as Gejo said, ultimately you have to take action. Just sitting and thinking, can I do it or can I not do it, is not going to get you anywhere. Get started. You want to take CAT, get started, start preparing again. Don't want to take CAT, look at the alternate path and start working towards it. But action orientation is something which is very, very important.
Answering no to this question is, well, kya hoga yaar? If I say no to this question, can I prepare? No. But I think that this is not a question of yes or no. We have 6 months. That's all the time that we have. We'll do every single thing to ensure that we can do well in this examination.
Yeah.
And I think that that's it.
Yeah. Marmik Rawat football. Okay. 997, 96% this year. Best call SP Jain. Best converted call NDI Gurgaon PGDM. Should I retake for Blackie?
Now retake for this will be retake for black. Key to hai na. MDI Gurgaon will be at par with KNI. So
yeah.
So your retake for BLSC. Okay. So 997.
7. That rules out A and B. And if it is a male, even L becomes a little difficult.
So basically C.
And then you have to look at C and FMS essentially. See, difficult for me to at least comment, but I will take a shot and I'll say India is a terrific institute. Join. Okay,
So real,
because
realistically, yeah, realistically we get C. So which means C
yeah,
means 99.9 percentile,
yeah,
8 percentile, 96 percentile this year would be what score GP,
and this
96.
was his first attempt.
So, फिर तो मतलब it is very very tempting to give one more shot. But I can tell you
Yeah.
this, 96 percentile एक बार check करता हूँ. 96 percentile was what score?
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
just give me a second. I have the scorecard.
In CAT 24, Jijo,
Yeah, yeah,
I'll just tell you. CAT 24 96 percentile was at about 72, 73 marks.
73 marks.
75
So we,
roughly.
75 marks. We need to get to 199.8 percentile. That'll
Yeah.
be
So that will be
100,
115.
115. So 75 to 115, right? So that will be 40 marks jump, no?
40
Ji,
marks.
huh?
13
40 marks.
questions more.
So you'll have to look at about 13 questions more. That's a jump. So you ask yourself, this 90 percentile, was it an amazing prep? What is that you have in hand? Do you have a great job with 9, 9, and 7? And then that is it I'm going to put in significant amount of effort to get that 99.8 and convert it for sure. So if you're able to get 99.9, then you will get calls from all these schools, FMS, MDR next year, right? So there is sort of the risk factor is not there. You'll get a very similar school next year as well. But the fact of the matter is that you are only gonna relook at it if you have 100% set, then I can improve that 40. I can fix that 40 marks here.
Yeah. See, ultimately, from MDI go down next year, as you just said, it has to be either BLAC or FMS or XLRA Jamshedpur. Okay. Maybe you can even look at ISB, the 2 year new program you can look at. And all of them are going to require, if not the 99.89, at least a 99.5 plus. Okay. So be clear about this aspect. If you think you have the capability, this being your first attempt, you can definitely go for it. But if in doubt, not sure, as I said, MDI is a great B school. Please join and go ahead with your build your career there. I appeared for CAT 24 repeater, converted FMS last year. Sorry, converted FMS this year. Last year got Kashipur. So
Yeah,
online guys, great. I am
yes,
assuming
yes.
there's not a question. You are just informing all of us. Okay.
Fantastic.
तीन पार्ट में है ना इसका सीएल
uh,
बॉक्स फॉर मोटिवेशन बूस्टर फॉर मी ग्रेट ग्रेट ऑनलाइन का ना समझ आ गया बहुत अच्छा लगा एंड वेरी फ्यू स्टूडेंट्स कम बैक एंड टेल अस दैट वी वर एबल टू इम्पैक्ट their preparation. Good to see that you are going to FMS. All the best. Vikas, 2022 pass out. Should I retake CAT? No work experience. To me, Vikas, retake CAT is not the question. Please get work experience.
yeah,
Please
yeah.
pick up a job. After that, I'll worry about retaking, not retaking CAT. You can retake CAT, but please get work experience. We are already in mid 25. There's a 3 year gap. And going into the interview, the 4 year gap without any solid reason is going to be a difficult thing in the to convince to the panel. तो भैया पहले तो जॉब ले लो कैट का तो होता रहेगा.
There's no work experiences. I don't know what reason. Maybe they prepare for UPSC, or you had some medical condition. I don't know what the situation is,
Yeah.
but I think that is very very important to keep our career safe, right? Preparing for the cat test, what are we doing? We are just hoping to create a chance for tomorrow. But what is that you're going to take care of it today, right? Today you got take care of that situation. No, there are enough job available. You are an able-bodied person with completed graduation. There is no reason why you shouldn't be someone who has no work experience. No reason.
Gejo, question for you. Converted SP Jain BM and I am Indore. Not satisfied and want to aim for ABC this year.
This is uh, those this uh, see if you're I don't know retake, try for ABC. So then I don't know what your other situation is, Sahil. Whether you got a good situation now, you got a great job, there is no risk whatsoever. Let's say that ABC journey is not a guaranteed journey, right? ABC journey is a journey. You can tell yourself that if I'm not going to get ABC next year, one more. So there is the point. So you should be willing to fight, at least mentally, emotionally, that this battle of ABC is a battle I'm willing to fight for 3 years. Anna. And given the fact that in that you would have got into SPJMR, in that it's very, very possible that your friends who would have got into SPJMR today would have passed out, got a job, and you're still preparing for ABC. All the reality exists. But so I would basically say that if you want to guarantee ABC, I'm not saying ABC is a guarantee, but if it's an ABC, then you are telling yourself that I'm just it's sort of I'm willing to even stand here after 3 years and
Yeah.
take that attempt as well.
Sahil, my only thing in addition to what Gejo has said is would be please broaden the basket which you are looking at. It is A, B, C, L, XL, FMS, ISB. Okay, so I would suggest look at these 7 colleges. SPJM and IIM Indore, both of them are great B schools. I would strongly recommend don't leave them just for the sake of that ABC. But if you have to, I'm presuming you already have, as Jijo said, a good job at hand and you can continue working and prepare accordingly. That's perfectly fine. But if you're going for a retake, it is not ABC, it is ABCL, it is XL, it is FMS, it is ISB. These are the ones which you need to look at if you have to go up. Others is fine. Okay. And other things Jijo has already covered. Tushar says, I have a 2-year gap. It will be 3 years on 26th August. Will that reduce my chance in the top 15 colleges?
Reduce my chance, sure. But it's going to stop your chance? No. Right. So at the end of the day, somebody's going to ask. It's very fair to ask a question. No, what is that? You are completed graduation, you're expected to work. And for whatever reason, you've taken a gap. And a lot of B schools are okay, people taking the gap because that's the reality. And so some of the students may take the decision. But know for a fact that ask yourself that what is that you're going to gain taking the gap. Right. So when you say you already have a 2-year gap, I don't know whether this 2 year what you were doing, whether it's UPSC or CAT preparation or whatever. Right? What is that you're going to take one?
See, Tushar, sorry, just to add, gap is not an issue. I'll show you students with 5 years, 7 years gap who have gone to ABCL. To me, gap is not an issue. How you handle the gap is the issue in the interview. Secondly, why should you have a gap without any strong reason for it? For example, a couple of years ago, I had a student who was focused on UPSC. 5 years he tried UPSC, could not get through. Then he came for MBA. So there's a reason for a gap. The gap cannot be just because yeah, job नहीं लिया, CAT की prepare कर रहा था. It leaves as you just said, it reduces your chances. It does not block you completely, but definitely creates a situation which is an uncomfortable situation for the candidate.
Yeah. So
Emerald. I'm planning to leave my job from August. Scored 97 percentile in CAT last year.
No. You're not leaving the job. What is this? I'm planning to leave my job from August. I scored 97% last week, and I'm from BITS Pilani with a decent pay package. But I'm sure I want to do an MBA. See this? You want to? Okay, let's address this Emerald now. Okay, nice pick by the way. Okay. So let's deal with this. Okay. You're not, when you say you're sure to do MBA, what does an MBA give you? MBA give you probably an opportunity, a quicker, a clear path, a structured path to get into top management in the future. Whether do an MBA or not do an MBA, you're going to get to the top management in the future. Okay. So what you're doing today with respect to your work is also helping you reach that path in the future. Right. What I would absolutely recommend, you are from BITS Pilani. Pilani campus, I'm assuming, I don't know whether Hyderabad or Goa campus, but you're from BITS Pilani. You got a decent package. Let's say that you're I don't know which year passed out. You can use that after, let's say, 3 years. You maybe get into a school somewhere else, a far better school with which values his work experience in India and abroad. Right. So I think the other thing is it's just with job it's not possible. I think that what is the kind of job that is not going to give you 3 hours of prep every single day? What job doesn't give you? So I have seen and
देखो यार, from a 97 percentile to 99.5, 99.9 percentile, the difference is not in the knowledge. The difference is in the way you handle the paper. So that is what you need to remember when what Gejo is saying. Ultimately, with your job, if you can get 2 to 3 hours on a daily basis, you can definitely move from 97 to 99.78 comfortably.
So I think that it is just with job, it's not possible. It's an absolute wrong statement. I would basically say that you have basically your issue with your boss. You're putting it on. You're taking MBA as an excuse to quit the job, and I'm sure that you've got other issue. Maybe you don't like the job. Maybe you don't like the work, right? So I think that don't make cat an excuse to leave the job. You want to leave the job, leave the job, pick something else. But I think the last video that I posted in my Gejo Speak channel last year, you can watch the video. I spoken to with 4 people in that, all in IM Bangalore. All of them were working, and all of them found time to prep for the cat. I think this is not done. No, no, you're not quitting.
Yeah. Gejo, the next one is a three-part question. The first part, I'm using Reddit for quite a long time and following one cat-related group. I see and learn knowledge, experience from these forums, but a lot of negative stuff used to come on that. Should I uninstall it?
Yeah,
That's the
you don't.
question.
I think what you got to do now. Yeah,
And the third part is, but it is also useful sometimes.
so okay. This is See, I have never used Reddit or any of these app when I prepared. Okay, I don't use any of this. I use a lot of forums when it comes to the stuff that I want to do. I just use it. I uh, I think that if you are in any of these and if you see value in it, and then if there are negative, and then I have understood there are a lot of people who come there who projects their problems onto others, and it's a place where people have a lot of gossips. I think you never know the person typing what's their intention, what's their motivation, are they preparing like that. It's very very difficult that in sort of ready to have, you have very strong sort of community which is focused completely. It's very very difficult. But this is what I'll tell you, that you don't have to delete Reddit, but don't rely on it. Okay, so if it is useful sometimes, whatever it is that use that is going to give you, just focus your Reddit on it. That's what I would say. But if let's say at some point you feel that it is the negative far out the far out, it's far more than the positive, just delete it. I mean,
Yeah. Gejo, the Bits Pilani guy, he has a last
same now.
part has come after a couple of questions. He already has a 2 year work experience. The
Huh,
answer does not change for us.
huh.
I would still say that continue with your job and prepare parallelly. It's going to be helpful for you.
I'll tell you the problem, right? The problem is this, that you are assuming that the requirement to move from 97 percentile to 99.7, 99.9 percentile is time. That if I have more time, I can reach that. I think that is an assumption that you have to question. Uh,
Okay. Pilani
the
can, he's added some more information. I'm just sharing, Gejo.
Yeah, yeah. So
23 password Pilani. Too much screen time. I have dry eyes.
I same. I had to same with me, and I've just got two liquid that my doctor suggested with a lot of the screen eyes. Okay. So you took sabbatical of 3 months last time. Okay. So you're assuming. So this is. No, 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 no. I think that you are making correlation and we are confusing correlation with causation. Right. You're basically saying that or A happened and then B happened, therefore A caused B to happen. You took a sabbatical, you got 97 percentile. Therefore, assuming that the sabbatical helped you get the 97 percentile. Right. And therefore, the thing is that if I don't sit at home and prepare the can, I'm not going to get the percentile that I got. That is a core issue that you want to address. I think that this is the problem is that if you quit the job and if you're not going to get the school of your choice, then you will pick up whatever comes along the way because you don't have any backup. So I know that there are a lot many people who have quit the job, worked very hard, and got the percentile, and you can see a lot of them actually speaking. The problem is only they are speaking. The people who quit the job and did not make it to IIM or messed it up are not speaking, and you're not listening to those voices. So I would sincerely suggest that question the assumption that is an issue with time. We are still in May, na? May end, June, July. So that don't think what you're going to do in the August because in your mind you've decided that August I'm going to quit the job, so I'm going to have time. Let me chill today. Okay. So I'm not. I'm sure you're not chilling, but I think that it's very very important. I would recommend that don't take any sabbatical, but don't quit the job. Is what I would say.
Yeah, completely with you, Jijo. So Milan is saying, I have a gap of 5 years between 10th and 12th. Will it be an issue? Yes, it will be an issue. But as Jijo said to another question, it is not something which is going to reject you. You'll have to explain why it happened, and that's it. Okay?
It'll
So
be,
don't worry too much about it.
just tell the truth, no, whatever it is. I mean, if it is a
Yeah.
okay, the truth that you would like to share, it's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
people understand that everybody goes through challenges in their life. No, that does not stop anyone. In fact, people who have gone through challenges know challenge, right? And then when they've overcome those kind of challenges, those people have got a lot of inner strength. So in many cases, these kind of failures that one has in the past is also looked in that sort of positive light, right? So it's a question of, I think, that make GP your mentor for your, once you get a call, just make GP your mentor, pick a PDP personalized, and I'm sure that will be done. Will convert the call.
Jijo, we remember we had this Rawat football
Yeah, yeah.
MDI Gurgaon converted. He's given some additional information, so I thought I'll just pick it up again. Where's
Okay,
that
okay.
additional information? Yes. He says he's a general engineer male, 20 months work experience. I feel it can be a bit of gamble if it is only about CFMS XLRI. Yes,
Yeah.
Rawat football, it is a gamble, but if you are up to it, go ahead with it. And as I said to a couple of other questions, it is not CFMS Excel, it also is ISB. Don't ignore ISB. ISB is also a very good option now. The 2 year program is definitely a terrific option to be considered. Okay? As long as you think you have the enthusiasm to go through this whole stupid process all over again.
Yeah, this is going to be uh, sort of a tough call. That s- so why don't you just visit MDI one of these days?
Yeah.
Just go to the campus and talk to people and soak in and see if it's a place that you want to be, right? And then take a call. And if you say no, I just want to be in C only, then ignore it and then fight.
These are last couple of questions. General engineer female.
General non-engineer female होगा ना?
Sorry, non-engineer female. Sorry.
Or I don't know whether GN is general. So I think, but
No,
I'm
I think
guessing.
general non-engineer
Okay.
female. That's right. 887. KJ Somaya appearing for CAT. Doing internship. What should be top
Do
HR
well.
based? Yeah. Do well in CAT and SAT. And that's what. See that the process does not change just because it's a HR based B school or an analytics based B school or some other kind of a B school. The process is the same everywhere. So there's no change with respect to this particular item. So just focus on your preparation. Make sure you get a good score. And if you've converted cases this year, it means you would be about 85 percentile plus, maybe 90 percentile plus. So that means that at least the base is there. Now you need to focus on ensuring that you're able to work on the way you have to take the paper. And 887 means again top IMs are out because 88 is a little on the lower side for ABCL.
C तो है C
हाँ नहीं C है सॉरी ABL I भी गया K भी मुश्किल होगा but C and FMS are your best options apart from XLRI. And if you are looking for the top HR based B schools, make sure you do apply to Tata Institute of Social Science next year. And
हाँ.
Symbiosis also is a very good B school for HR. The Symbiosis SIBM Pune, SCMHRD, MDA also has a HR program. Indore has a good HR program. So quite a few are there. And as we said, the preparation process is the same for all of these. I think there's the last question I'm taking. 2 years work experience, but percentage in 12th is less than 80%. Can I make it to I'm Ahmedabad? Uh,
I don't know.
no. No. With the current criteria, the answer is no. My suggestion, its hope is, my suggestion to you is that please check the MBA Profilizer, put in all your details, because right now I'm assuming you are a general category candidate. If you are SC, SC, OBC, or EWS, then you may have a chance. So please check the Profilizer. She's also got master's degree, but it will not add any advantage, or it will not give any advantage. Okay, so Gejo, I think we've covered all the questions which were relevant. Rest I'm not picking up. Okay, so guess we can close the session for the day. And we planned for 1 hour. It's already 1.5 hours. So guys and girls, all the best. take a considered opinion, and once you have decided that the way forward, just go ahead with it and don't let people around you distract you from whatever you have decided. Okay, all the best.
All best. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.